We welcome you to Austin, Texas, a city known for its music, its love of barbecue, and of course, the Longhorns. Today at Krieg Fields on the shores of the Colorado River, beach volleyball takes center stage at the AVP Austin Open. Hi everybody, welcome. Along with Kevin Wong, I'm Chris Marlowe. It is great to be back in Austin for the first time since 2005. You know, everybody says everything is bigger in Texas. Is that true, Kevin Wong?
Of course it is. We've had the biggest qualifier of the year. We've got a big crowd and a big rivalry match here in the men's final.
Men's championship finals features Phil Dalhausser and his partner Nick Lucena, champions 2 weeks ago in Huntington Beach. Odds-on favorites today.
Yeah, and at a historical spot for them, the site of their first win 12 years ago. And also Phil himself looking for some history, looking to pass the great Emmanuel in the win column.
The opposition, well, it's a new team this year. The veteran Sean Rosenthal, the three-time Olympian, with the youngster Trevor Crabb. There's some potential oozing in this team.
Really the word on the street this week, Rosie is back, the back is healthy, and looking to lead the youngster Crabb to his first ever AVP victory.
All right, we're set for live volleyball, our men's championship final. For the introduction of the players, let's go over to Mark Sherman. Mark.
Yes, baby, for the first time in 12 years. Live from Austin, volleyball fans, this is where it's at. These fans, some of the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Austin. This is Boomtown. Yes, it's gonna be so good. And we've got an incredible men's final coming your way right now. Let's meet the teams. This first young man out of Honolulu, Hawaii, Punahou High School and Long Beach State University. He does amazing things at the net. He's got 3 second-place finishes. He does not want to make it 4. He wants to get his first title ever right here in Austin. He is Trevor Crabb. And Trevor's partner, he is no stranger to the finals. He's got 12 victories on the AVP Tour, but his last one is in 2014, and that is way too long. He wants a title, ladies and gentlemen. He is a living legend of beach volleyball. He is Rosie, Superman, Sean Rosenthal. And their opponents. Nice throw, Rosie. And their opponents. Also no strangers to the finals. They have been balling for the last couple years. They just represented the United States of America at the Olympics in Rio, and my goodness, they are just crushing fools. They have been going all weekend long, undefeated, and I can't wait to see what they do right now. This first player out of Davie, Florida, the Seminole from Florida State University, the Greyhound, Nicholas Lucena. And his partner, oh boy. Philip, you know the first time you won a tournament with Nick was right here 12 years ago in Austin, Texas. You're looking for the repeat, baby? I think you might be. He is a 50-time winner, count him, 50 on the AVP Tour. We're looking for number 51. He is the Olympic gold medalist. He is the beast, Philip Dalhausser.
So we are set, ready to go. 2 teams that have never faced each other in competition. Of course, Dalhausser and Lucena reunited after a couple years early, back in 2003 to 2005. They've come back and they played together in the Olympics. Meanwhile, Sean Rosenthal and Trevor Crabb playing just their 3rd event together, and these 2 teams have never faced off. So here we go. Men's championship final. Sean Rosenthal, Phil Dalhausser, Nick Lucena, and Dalhausser. Now Trevor Crabb, and that's going to be a point. Good floater there.
Early early on. You see the nerves from Trevor Crabb. He's got the skills, he's got the athleticism, but going after your first title ever, it's going to be the psyche that will be tested the most.
Both Lucena and Dalhausser are 37 years old as Trevor Crabb pops it into the corner. Trevor is 27 years old, born in Honolulu, Hawaii, now living in Redondo Beach. And to emphasize, he's never won on the AVP Tour, but has been successful 3 seconds and 4/3 last season. Now Sean Rosenthal, the veteran, 36, the former partner of Phil Dalhausser. They split a couple of years ago. It was not amicable. And down the middle goes Nick Lucena. Lucena, a 2016 USA Olympian. He finished 5th in Rio with Phil. They were eliminated by the gold medalist Alisson and Bruno.
One of the great defenders in the world, but today really his key will be his offense, because talking to the coaching staff for the other side, they're going to serve him early and often.
Now Dalhausser, one of the great servers in the world. They're going after Rosenthal. Set his back, and Rosenthal lets it rip.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, he's been the talk of the beach this whole weekend. We pulled up, we drive in, and the crowds are going crazy, and we had 3, 4, 5 people say, have you seen Rosenthal play this weekend? And it's hits like that that bring back the glory days of yesteryear.
Now Trevor Crabb played with his brother Taylor, who's now playing with Jake Gibb. They were in Rio this weekend, and Nick Lucena hits it straight down. Lucena accomplished. He's got 15 career wins, including a couple of weeks ago in Huntington Beach.
And we've talked about this. 12 years ago, they won their first title together. And, you know, the footnote to that story is in 2006, Phil Dalhausser goes his separate way with Todd Rogers on their way to winning the gold in Beijing.
Nice set. Rosenthal lets it loose.
Full swing, and then I'll tell you, a little bit of a stare down in the direction of Phil Dalhausser. Rosenthal had an interesting comment before the match. He said, Phil Dalhausser, the only guy who's ever dumped me throughout my career.
3-3 first set. Rosenthal serving. Spins it over to Lucena. And Lucena puts it away. Well, we have a moment. Time to introduce you to the third member of our broadcast team. He's Dane Bland. Hello, Dane.
Thanks a lot, Chris. You know, Sean Rosenthal, one of the most dynamic athletes on this tour, has had a tough couple of years. His last win in 2014, he had some back problems. He actually had a bulging disc that turned into a ruptured disc, if you can believe it. But he's gotten PRP, plasma injections, as well as stem cell injections, and his back is feeling much better. We're seeing it translate onto the court, you guys, some of these dynamic hits already, and he wants more than anything else to get Trevor Crabb his first victory.
Rosenthal healthy. He's got 23 career wins. He's 26th all time. Needs a victory today to tie Sean Scott for 25th.
Yeah, but one of the
all-time
one
list.
of the things we got to think about too, though, it's been 3 years since his last win, so he's got a number of wins, but looking to get his groove back here.
August 2014 at Manhattan, and he won that tournament with Phil Dalhausser, who was then his partner. Kevin, you had an interesting thought. You asked Rosenthal if he'd like to hit one into Phil Dalhausser's face, and he said, no, not really, but if his face gets in the way of a big spike, I won't mind. First set, 5-4, Lucena and Dalhausser. And Dalhausser right over the top. Of course, Phil, the 3-time USA Olympian, the 2008 Olympic gold medalist.
You know, and he had some of his own injury issues along the way, had some ab tear issues, had some shoulder problems, but looking really sharp as well. This is probably, for me, the #2 team in the world behind Bruno Alisson.
6-4. Inside Crabb. Nice dig. Lucena pops it up 35 feet. Easy dig for Rosenthal. Here he comes against the former partner, and he sprayed it out. That's what Phil Dalhausser will do to you, Kevin. You've talked about the challenges of spiking against him.
He takes so much space. He really squeezes that middle as he's gotten a little more sophisticated, so he's really almost steering that ball out of bounds, not giving you a lot of space.
So now Nick Lucena. Little shorty over to Crabb. And Crabb taps it down the line, but out of bounds.
And you can see not going with the heat early on, the team of Dalhausser Lucena, instead going with the placement of the serve. They go short to Trevor Crabb and they take away some of his approach, so he's undersized. They make him even a little bit more small effectively here.
Dalhausser is 6'9" with long arms. Crabb chopping inside on his belly like a reptile is Lucena with the left. Now Crabb will try it again. And he unloads off the hands of Lucena, out of bounds.
What an amazing defensive play. So disciplined on defense, and you can be disciplined if you're Nick Lucena because you're the fastest guy in the world. Nick the quick, maybe not Nick the blocker at the net, but on that play showing you the defensive ability.
Now Sean Rosenthal, 5th twice in the Olympics with Jake Gibb, Beijing and London. Dalhausser, off speed, got it.
And what sets Phil Dalhausser off against all the other bigs in the world, he's got the power game. We saw that on the play before, but all of a sudden he takes a look, he hits the shot, pinpoint to the deep corner. Size, strength, and skill. Those are a deadly trio you would know nothing about.
Kevin mentioned Phil Dalhausser has 86 career wins. He's tied with the great Brazilian for 5th on the all-time list, Emmanuel. Now Dalhausser likes to serve right down the pipe. Crabb has it. And Crabb hits it straight down. His best hit of the set so far. Well, Trevor Crabb and his brother Taylor Crabb, they decided to split at the end of last year. Kevin, tell us why.
Hey, you know, I had a chance to play with my brother at one point in my career, and all of a sudden you got all that past history, right? All those scar wounds, and he's just said I was ready for something new, something fresh. And he also wants to get his first win before his younger brother.
There's a rivalry, there's a race as Lucena pounds it through. Lucena, with his win in Huntington Beach, went over $1 million in prize money. Only 20 male players in history have won more than $1 million. And Nick joining that exclusive club. This is his first set, if you're just joining us here on NBCSN. Lucena and Dalhausser, Crabb and Rosenthal. Best 2 out of 3 sets. First 2 to 21. 3rd set when needed.
I'm surprised they're serving Crabb so much. They said the plan was to go to Rosenthal. You see the vision. He's a great passer as Trevor, and then the ability to turn the range from down the line to the hard angle.
Crabb and Rosenthal defeated John Mayer and Jeremy Casebeer in 3 sets in the semifinals to advance. Meanwhile, Dalhausser and Lucena got by Billy Allen and Stafford Slick. 2 sets to none, 21-17, 21-16. So Dalhausser, who likes to serve from the center of the court, husband and wife area, and he pounds it over to Rosenthal. Perfect set. A little tight, and it's blocked. Boy, the set kind of drifted on.
Well, that was a perfect set back in your day, but all of a sudden we've got the bigger blockers. You got the 6'9" Phil Dalhausser pressing way over the net. There's nowhere to go on that play.
How far do you have to set the ball off the net when you're spiking? Or
4 feet is a good spot against Phil Dalhausser. Against you, maybe 8 inches.
Yeah, there you go. Dalhausser, very impressive in his first week, and on 2 goes Rosenthal, and it's a point.
See some of the surgical serving from Nick Lucena, and then now on the good side, you can see that wind in his face for Phil Dalhausser, really taking some aggressive serves.
13-7 as Lucena and Dalhausser, one of the only holdover teams from last season. Been a big shakeup on the AVP Tour. Another big serve. Rosenthal out of bounds. No, did he get the touch? He did. He got the touch. Now Dave Carson, our first referee. Alan Siegel is there too. And we'll take a short timeout. First set, the AVP Austin Open. Nick Lucena and Phil Dalhausser looking strong early. They lead by 5. The AVP Austin Open is brought to you by Truly Spiked and Sparkling, as refreshing as sparkling water, but with 5% alcohol. The AVP Austin Open is brought to you by Truly Spiked and Sparkling, as refreshing as sparkling water, but with 5% alcohol, only 100 calories, and a hint of fruit. Truly refreshing. Welcome back to Austin, Texas. Chris Marlowe with Kevin Wong and Dane Blanton. 78 men's teams started off in this tournament. 65 of them in the qualifier. We're down to the final two. Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena off to a good start. What's the story of the first set so far?
Phil Dalhausser scoring points off his block, even when he's not blocking balls. He had the one block, but he had a lot of scares, and that's really caused a lot of easy points for their squad.
Look at the all-time winners in beach volleyball. Karch at the top, followed by St. John. Randy Stoklos, the underrated Kent Steffes. And Dalhausser tied with Emmanuel at 86.
And you look at that graphic and you say, how do you get to the next level, right? 110, that means 24 more victories to catch up with Kent Steffes at number 4. Talk to Phil about that. He says, thinks it's very reachable. He says he likes to set high goals, and he feels he and Nick right now playing as good as any team he's been on.
13-8. And Nick Lucena, and he spins it over the top. How would you rate Lucena's shots placing the ball?
Well, when he's crisp, when he's focused, as good as you can be. And I'll tell you, they were looking to get a sleepwalking Dalhausser Lucena. They did not get that. They have a sharp looking team.
14-8. Here comes Rosenthal. Spin it down the line. Lucena's got it. And the put away by Dalhausser.
You know, this is a play that Todd Rogers was not making. You got Nick the Quick, who's so much faster, and the ability to cover so much range. We saw him get a cut shot on the 1-foot line, and then you're off 30 feet on the high line shot, left to right, no one with better range, more speed.
Dalhausser did win 65 times with Todd Rogers. Third all-time team in terms of wins together behind Smith and Stoklos, Karch and Kent. Little spinner. And Lucena off 1 foot, tried the backslide. You might see the women on the University of Texas run that backslide.
And you can see Nick Lucena's reaction. He's not happy with Phil Dalhausser. And that's actually one of the strengths of this team, is that Nick will ride Phil a little bit and make sure he gets the best interest out of him.
Lucena just hit the ball in the net. He's not happy with Dalhausser.
Well, he was jacking that set out to the stands.
Oh my gosh. Now Rosenthal over to Dalhausser. 6-point lead. And Dalhausser over the top. Trevor Crabb is listed at 6'5", Dalhausser at 6'9", and Phil is going right over the top here.
Yeah, the key for Crabb Rosenthal is they've got to serve tougher. They've got to get Dalhausser Lucena out of system, passing off the net and becoming a little more predictable on offense.
Dalhausser and Lucena, the defending champs in this event, 2005. And the serve into the net. Of course, the first winners here back in 1992, Karch Garay and Kent Steffes. Second was Smith Stoklos. Third, Brian Lewis and Pat Powers. AJ, Adam Johnson, and Ricky Ludes were fourth. That was the year Karch and Steffes won 16 of the 19 AVP events. Lucena off the top of the block and out of bounds. So Dalhausser and Lucena playing perfect volleyball so far.
And once again, a perfect pass. Phil Dalhausser, the best setter in the world. And the other team trying to switch it up. They got Rosenthal actually going to the net. That's a little bit of a panicky play.
Trying to change things up. Now another serve to Rosenthal, and Trevor Crabb socks it down the line. We mentioned the great Adam Johnson, who is here today. There's AJ, 44 career wins. One of the greats of all time, Kevin Wong, and he's going to be joining us hopefully at the top of the second set.
Great player, and he also had a great flair, right? The floppy blonde hair over the visor, the sand socks.
Yeah, used to have the bowl cut. It was very attractive. Now serve to Dalhausser, and Dalhausser puts it away. Well, you remember Adam Johnson back in the day? Late 80s, early 90s. A spectacular player. I remember a tournament in Grand Haven where he served 2 points in 1 second when they were using the shot clock, and they ended up tying up the match and then going on to win. That was quite the tournament. A lot of controversy there, as you might imagine. Now Rosenthal, and he is roofed.
And that's that same set, right? It's about 2.5 feet off the net, which against most blockers It's a pretty good set, but Phil Dalhausser not most blockers and making this play look childish. Look at how far he presses over. You know, Rosenthal's got to do something better with that. We've seen so many times guys like Karch will just kind of tap it into the block and get it back.
8-point lead. Set is back. That could have been a toss. Let's see if there's an argument after this one. Dalhausser and Lucena might argue the set. Maybe not. So good hustle play for Trevor Crabb and Sean Rosenthal. Trevor Crabb, he's the excitable Crabb brother. Said he gets it from his mother, Paula. Chris, the dad, is very serene, much more like Taylor, the other youngster.
Right, fire and ice,
Yep.
the combination. We talk about it all the time.
19-12, Lucena. Doug, no, out of bounds. So Lucena and Dalhausser playing just about perfect volleyball.
You know, I think 2017 is going to be a great year for this team. They've got all the pressures out about the Olympics. You look back on their 5th place finish, and if you just see it on paper, maybe a little disappointing. They were the second best team there, just had a really tough draw.
First set point for Lucena and Dalhausser. Serving Rosenthal, and that's going to be a double contact, and that is the end of the first set. The top-seeded team in the tournament, Nick Lucena and Phil Dalhausser, the defending champs here in Austin, Texas. They look very, very strong here at the outset. All right, we're coming back to Austin. Second set coming up. Can Crabb and Rosenthal rebound? Stay tuned, we'll find out. Second stop on the 2017 AVP Tour, the AVP Austin Open. Phil Dalhausser, Nick Lucena winning easily that first set. Let's go down to Dane Bland.
So you guys really making it look easy, and that's what happens when you work so hard. What went well for you in that first set, Phil, to make it look so smooth?
I think the difference was our passing. Just about every pass was almost perfect, and that makes siding out a lot easier.
Looks like you went to Crabb early, then to Rosenthal. What's the strategy there, Nick?
Figured Trevor might be a little nervous going into it. Rosie's been there, and he's probably amped. Worked a little bit, then Trevor steadied out, so we're going to have to mix it up in the second for sure.
All right, you guys, good luck in the second set. Chris?
There is Jeff Alcina. He is the coach for Trevor Crabb and Sean Rosenthal. I agree with that, Kevin, that there was a little bit of tenseness on Team 2 today.
Oh, they look sharp, and they're really carrying the flag that they showed in Huntington Beach just 2 weeks ago. And I think the passing was good, but I think part of it, the serves weren't as tough as you'd like to see. I think for Lucena and Phil Dalhausser just playing it at such a high level right now.
So we await the second set. And we're happy to have with us, we just showed him, Adam Johnson is here in the booth with us. There he is.
In the booth.
Welcome aboard.
It's nice to be here.
Excellent.
It's been a while. Kevin?
AJ, you had a fantastic career. You lived in California your whole life, but now we're told that you're living in Austin, Texas. What gives?
Been here for 11 years. The barbecue is unbelievable. I get to burn things like I didn't get to do in California, and there's a lot of nice things out here. It's just wonderful. It's been a wonderful 11 years.
You get a chance to play against Kevin Wong in your career. You guys didn't like each other very much.
I'll be honest, I really didn't like Adam Johnson because
Not too many people do, though.
My first year on tour, he said not a single word all year long, and then we get to the finals. We're waiting in the tunnel, and Adam Johnson comes over to me with this menacing look, and he goes, "Wong, no one remembers who loses this match here. You better win."
So who won?
Of course he did.
Oh,
He had cards.
Was that the one?
Huntington Beach.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember that.
Kind of the same thing when we started broadcasting together.
Exactly.
All right, we're starting the second set. And Phil Dalhausser, Nick Lucena, how would you evaluate their team? They looked awfully good in that first set.
Well, it's amazing to watch these guys these days. I mean, I don't know if you call it an opportunity to get a chance to play against those guys back in 2005. He wasn't as good then, but he's definitely dominant now, and it's just amazing to see him this weekend.
Rosenthal, another dig. Rosenthal tried again. Lucena there. And Crabb, did he hit the net? He may have. It's going to be a point for Lucena and Dalhausser.
Love the emotion starting to get into. They just really haven't been able to get any sort of mojo going, and I think sometimes you got to create some, invent some, and Trevor Crabb trying to tap into that right now.
So Lucena will serve it. Up 2-0 here at the start of the second set. Chris Marlowe, Kevin Wong, Dane Blanton, and Adam Johnson joining us in the booth. And going over the top is Trevor Crabb. Let me ask both of you a question. So Phil Dalhausser is generally acknowledged as one of the great big men of all time. How would you evaluate him? You got Dalhausser, you got Randy Stokos, you got Alisson, you got Ricardo. How would you compare those four guys?
Well, looking at him now in this game, you know, personally, I'd take Dalhausser.
Really?
Simple as that. I mean, it's you know, it's definitely a smaller court. I think it's just more, the angles are a lot sharper, and you have to be more crisp. And I think that a guy like Dalhausser is just going to take more area.
Dalhausser is so skilled. He's not only a big man, but he can move. He's got hands. He serves. Really a five-tool volleyball player.
Well, and the follow-up question to Adam is this is what my conjecture is. What do you think he would have been like on the big court without the rally scoring back in the days when it's Adam Johnson and Karch Karai?
Well, you never know, and we'll never know, and that's the great debate, and we can always talk about that and say, well, could he have handled some of these serves? Could he have, you know, could he have set from back row from a big BB serve? You know,
Nice up, yes. Lucena scoops it over. He's looking like an Adam Johnson of yesteryear. At the net, slapping. Lucena's there again. He's everywhere. Popped up. Trevor Crabb looking for the put away. Not yet. Try it again. Crabb. And Rosenthal puts it away. Listen to the crowd.
That's just hard to get it past that guy. And when you got an opening like Rosenthal did there, you got to go right under the arms, and it was a great shot by him.
Trevor Crabb trying to win his first tournament ever. What do you remember about your first win?
I don't know if I can say that on the radio. Randy Stokos forgot my name when he was up on stage, so I let everybody know. Absolutely, it was the biggest joke out there.
He didn't call you St. John, did he?
He says the kid, I don't even know his name.
And that's the one thing you remember.
That's
Beautiful.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a great experience. Pat Powers, you know, being able to put that last ball down for my first victory was, you know, something I'll always remember.
5-1 is our score. Lucena and Dalhausser are all over Crabb and Rosenthal. And now Dalhausser will serve it. And Rosenthal into the net. Well, let's go to the Wayback Machine, Adam Johnson. You can't remember what happened in your first win?
Well, here we go. Here we go, right here. I remember, well, I know you don't know this, but you were Adam Johnson with the
Okay, here we go. There's a word for this in volleyball lingo. Incoming! Look out!
Oh, man.
Johnson! Look at the
And Adam Johnson has overcome it all to be the king of the beach.
In my memories of Adam Johnson.
Hard serving hard.
Adam Johnson is now the new Old Spice King of the Beach.
We just missed a little bit of the audio, what you were talking about in your first win.
Yeah.
That was some fun stuff.
It was fun, and you were there for a lot of the
Sure.
wins.
I remember that. There's such a thrill about calling someone's first ever AVP win. Now, Rosenthal and Crabb, they got to get going, or they're going to get blown right out of Austin, Texas.
Now, were you there for Kevin's first win?
I'm trying to remember my first win. I don't think so.
I
don't
can't
think so.
remember
You
your
did my
first win.
first 2 national championships indoor for UCLA.
Did some of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was there when they lost the national championship also to Penn State. Kevin still says that's illegitimate.
Yeah, well, we lost 3 times in a row, so.
Chris Marlowe, Kevin Wong, Adam Johnson in the booth with us. Dane Blanton patrolling.
You know, my memories of those days is the rivalries on tour, kind of looking up towards the St. John Stoklos days and the Adam Johnson days, and a little bit of nastiness, right? You liked that energy and that confrontation, and I think sometimes these days everyone's just too friendly.
Well, and to talk about that, now that you see when they switch sides and everybody's shaking, patting everybody, giving each other 5. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that until after the game. You beat me, I'll shake your hand and say, great game. But until then, enemies.
Give me your 3 top enemies on the AVP Tour when you played throughout your career. Just give me 3 guys that you really tried hard against.
Well, St. John and Randy, everybody tried hard against. And Karch and Kent, I loved playing against Karch and Kent. I had a good read on Karch. I played a really good defense against him. Louis, Ack, all those guys that are always talking, you always want to shut them up, right?
Yeah. And of course, Kevin Wong. They want to mention that.
I want to go back. I want to see. I want to get some video or something, some recording on that. I don't know that I said that. Come on.
Over the top, Lucena, and a double contact called on Phil Dalhausser. He's going to go over and complain a little bit. Do you think the way they're calling the ball handling these days, is it similar to what you guys went through?
Oh, probably. And it's kind of funny because in college I was a terrible setter. And then I came out on the tour the first couple of years, and I was setting with my hands.
You had some hands?
Yeah, but then they weren't pretty. But I was able to get away with it. And then they started getting harder. They get a little tighter, and then we just started bump setting.
8-4, our score. And Dalhausser whacks it out of bounds. So getting a little bit of momentum here. Rosenthal, who's the best blocker you ever hit against on the beach?
Well, on a consistent basis, it was probably, I'd probably say Randy or maybe even Karch. I mean, for his size,
really?
He's a great blocker. There's some other guys like Whitty, who's a big block, but might not have had the skill.
Yeah, but he was big, wasn't he?
Definitely.
Pretty good set there, and it's rejected by Trevor Crabb. Side change.
Yeah, and a little run, right? You got Lucena getting a little chippy. You got Dalhausser making a couple of unforced errors and going to the good side now. Team of Lucena and Crabb.
Some of the Adam Johnson numbers. 22 titles with the 3 winningest players in history. What'd you do with all your money? $1 million.
Are you kidding me? I've got 2 kids in college right now. Are you kidding me?
You got 2 kids in college?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not at USC for $70K.
Thank goodness. Okay. Hey, fight on.
Good up there. We're gonna try there.
Yeah, my daughter's finishing her. She'll be a senior next year at Texas State. My son just started. He just finished his freshman year at Texas Tech.
Are they ball players?
My daughter did play, and she was actually pretty good, but she decided not to play. I wasn't one of those parents that was going, come on.
Come on.
I know, I wasn't. I mean, I'll be honest. I would have loved to seen her play, or my son play baseball or whatever. But they just, it wasn't. Maybe they didn't have the drive that I did.
Second set. Dalhausser and Lucena won the first. Adam Johnson joining us here in the booth. Rosenthal puts it away. Rosenthal and Crabb have kind of settled down, as Kevin mentioned. A little friction on the other side. Just a bit. Still a 9-7 lead.
Look at Rosie going high hands, right? Jumping like Superman back in the day.
Do you have any idea how high he touches?
I don't.
Rosenthal,
I've seen some crazy slam dunks, though.
He did go over 40 when he was younger. Now, nice up, Crabb. Calling line, but there's Big Phil. Trouble here. Oh, what a beautiful shot. As nice as it gets, a little touch. Knuckler.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, is on these tight plays, on the trap sets, how do you better the ball? How do you better the situation instead of swinging away on this one? Nice little cut shot with the knuckle pokey.
9 9-8 our score. Who was the best player you ever played with?
Probably Karch for
Karch?
sure. Karch for sure. I mean, even when I started playing with him after his shoulder and he was down, you know, he's at 70%, I'll take him over anybody.
There you go. 9-8, tight set. And Lucena with a nice stretch there over Rosenthal. No, 10-8. Rally scoring. How about that, Adam Johnson? How would you have fared in rally scoring, do you think?
I mean, I played in 2005, and I was that season I started. I came off with a little knee surgery and was actually in shape after only 2 months.
Nice.
So
yeah,
it definitely is different.
We're getting set for a timeout. I wanted to ask you one more question. 2 aces in 1 second in Grand Haven.
Are we still talking about that?
Tell us that quick story.
That was awesome. I mean, and there's people around here who are still talking about that. But, you know, we basically had 1 second.
And you're down 2.
We're down 2. I get, you know, I mean, it has to be a clean ace.
Yep.
And we get a clean ace, and, you know, the clock didn't show 0. And Randy said, there's time on the clock. And so they gave us another shot. We put the ball in play. I wasn't going for an ace. We ended up getting that point, and then ended up winning that game.
I believe it was Leif Hansen and Jay Hansen.
No, Leif Hansen and Scott Friedrichsen.
Scott Friedrichsen.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
I see that all the time on old school volleyball.
And I remember that Matt Gage had to come out and say, nope, there's just a little more time.
Yeah.
Adam Johnson, thanks for joining us in the booth. Congratulations on a great career, and
thanks for having us
good
here.
luck in Texas.
Thank you.
You and your family.
We're trying to get the AVP Academy out here. They just started their junior program across the country.
Excellent.
I actually called them up and said, hey, let's start one here in Austin. So we got the first one here in Texas.
How big is it?
It's growing, right? We got a late start on it, but it's growing each and every day. So
all right,
we're excited about it.
Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Donaldson and the AVP doing some good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Adam Johnson, the great one, in the booth with us. Second set, Dalhausser and Lucena lead by 1.
Is that a kiss cam dog? Yeah, he can do it all. He can do it all.
Welcome back to Austin, Texas. AVP Tour continuing here in 2017. Jeff out. All right, let's go down to Dane with Jeff Alzina.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Here with Jeff Alzina. And Jeff, you coached the Crabb brothers. They broke up at the end of last year, kind of instrumental in putting this team together. They struggled the first set. What has changed here in the second set that has got them back in action?
Well, we didn't pass real well in the first set, and a lot of credit goes to Nick and Phil. They served really well and played perfect defense. We've come out with a little more rhythm starting out, and we're serving it just a little bit tougher and getting them a little more trouble to finally score our first few points.
I know you've been in this situation many times. This is your 80th final as a coach. Congratulations for that. But what do you tell a guy like Trevor trying to win his first victory with the nerves?
He settled down a little bit once he was out there a little bit longer. He was in 4 finals last year, and so we're just trying to draw on those experiences and trying to stay aggressive, make a really, really good pass so that we can be in system. When he gets a great pass, great set, we're doing a lot better. So a lot of it starts with the pass.
Appreciate it. Good luck in this set. All right, Chris.
All right, Jeff Alzina, an outstanding coach. How much does it help to have a coach in the box?
You know, a crazy stat that Alzina told me before this match is that this is his 80th final of all time. So all that experience over the years helping teams like Metzger, Jake Gibb, some of the top teams. The interesting thing, he's at nearly 500 in wins. 50-50, and he's never gotten to coach a Kerry Walsh, a Misty May Trainer, a Phil Dalhausser, so that's a pretty amazing stat.
All right, here we go. Serve was short. Lucena down the line. Chance to tie right here. Crabb. Lucena and Dalhausser scoops it up. Tall run. Lucena couldn't quite get there. Dalhausser very good at stretching out and retrieving balls here. This one kind of goes a little bit sideways. Trying to give Lucena a chance there.
And once again, the team of Crabb and Rosenthal, they're switching things up. They've got Rosie at the net blocking. Got Crabb in the back making the defensive play. Really tapping into some creativity here in this match to equalize.
11-all, second set after Lucena and Dalhausser won the first. There's a nice set there. And Lucena pounds it through. Of course, Lucena is married to former AVP standout Brooke Niles. And she is the head coach of Florida State University, one of the great beach volleyball programs in the country. We have a son named Gunnar. Dalhausser married also. He's got a couple of kids, Sebastian and Sophia.
Wife Jennifer. Oh, what was that?
Rosenthal with the left.
What was that?
It was a high two in the middle. The X-play.
Look at him scoot under the arms of Trevor Crabb. I have never seen that play in my life.
Sometimes the broken plays, you get a little momentum from that.
And then he finishes it with his left hand. It's amazing. He is a volleyball prodigy, always has been.
12-12, second set. Lucena down the line, picked up easily. Rosenthal guessed right. And he puts it away. So Sean Rosenthal, he never played high school or college volleyball. His uncle was Matt Gage, brought him down to Hermosa Beach when he was a youngster and taught him all the tricks.
And I'll tell you, I am embarrassed now, but you have this impression about Sean Rosenthal maybe just getting by with athleticism. There's no one smarter with higher volleyball IQ on the beach, all time I almost say, than Sean Rosenthal.
Another short serve. So Crabb and Rosenthal finally getting the lead here in second set, but now tied up at 13.
I'm doing my prep for the 2012 Olympic Games, and I just so happened to be talking to Sean Rosenthal. I could ask about any player. I could ask about men or women. I could ask about the history of the game, and he had such sharp answers for every single subject matter.
Short serve again, so both teams on that as Crabb, and the dig is up 58 feet. And the tapper is good from Nick Lucena.
And that's the kind of play that could become a backbreaker, right? You got a play that could go either way. Good swing from Trevor Crabb. Going to be really interesting to see how Crabb and Rosenthal respond to this next play.
Other finishers, Billy Allen, Stafford Slick, Jeremy Casebeer, John Mayer finish third. Ed Ratledge, Eric Zahn, Madison McKibben, and Reed Pretty get fifth together. All right, a reminder, this July, a new network where you can experience the Olympic spirit every day, showcasing your favorite stars and stories, introducing the Olympic Channel, home of Team USA. Well, Kevin, a number of AVP teams down in Rio for the four-star tournament. And how about Theo Brunner and Casey Patterson, the best finishing USA team? They got a fourth. Maybe a sign of good things to come as Dalhausser lights one up.
Yeah, a lot of doubters about that team, Brunner and Patterson, but I've seen how Patterson's been able to elevate the level of his partner's play. He's one of the guys, I would throw Steinmetzger in there, who just get every last ounce out of their partner, and I think I could see some good things ahead for that team.
15-14 now. Dalhausser, Lucena. Nice set, and Rosenthal off the block out of bounds. One thing about Rosenthal and Crabb as a team going forward, they have really set the ball nicely with their hands.
Great hands, great passers as well. That's a really nice high hit. This is the serve. This is their better server at the back line. He's got a little bit of wind in their face. It's go time for Sean Rosenthal. Needs to put under pressure.
a reminder to get social with the AVP. AVP is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Follow AVP Beach for exciting beach volleyball action and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Some of the fans dressed up here in Austin, Texas. This is our men's championship final, and Phil Dalhausser, the best blocker in the United States by far, and regarded as one of the top blockers in the world, and another 1-point lead.
You asked him about passing Emmanuel this weekend. He said, I just have so much respect for Emmanuel. He's got the gold, he's got the silver and the bronze, and we've had so many battles over the year.
Now a little shoot set and tapping over the top. Lucena runs it down, the spinner. Crabb on the run. Lucena's got it on the left. Takes a high 2 in the middle, and he jams it. And Crabb is upset.
Wow.
I think that Lucena may have gotten away with an open hand slammer there.
Oh, he definitely did. And it was Trevor Crabb who created that. He acted like he was going to block. Watch, I'm going to block. No, I'm not. Drops the hand, gets out of the way, and Nick Lucena thought there was going to be a joust. That's open hand.
You're allowed to if the opponent is there, then it's a joust. If both are on the ball at the same time. So Lucena and Crabb upset. Well, Lucena's not upset, he's happy. And an 18-15 lead.
You know, we talk about that 2005 victory, their first ever on tour. They had to go through 9 Olympians with 4 combined gold medals. They beat Benoit, Dax, Nygaard, Karch, Lambo, Hayden, Gibb, and Metzger in the finals, 18-16 in that one. That was a well-deserved win.
Check this footage out from 2005. This is fan footage. Dalhausser and Lucena before they got big. This one fan with a hat, he just stood up right in the middle of it. But it was packed, and look at the celebration, these two. That was fun. Hey, for more on this, let's go down to Dave.
Yeah, Chris, I talked to Phil and Nick before the match, and they had choices, actually. There's a big FIVB event in Rio that you guys mentioned earlier, but Phil told me that this place holds something special in his heart, and getting their first win here is something they wanted to come back 12 years later. So to hold up that trophy here again would be really something special. This was a choice to be here, and I tell you what, they are capitalizing on it right now.
This is some video we dug up. Kevin Wall playing with Dane Blanton against Dalhausser and Lucena in the twilight. What kind of a team were you and Dane?
You know what we were? We were without PRP, whatever PRP is, because that was towards the latter part of our career, and I could have used a little more PRP.
Mm-hmm. Dave?
Yeah, you know what? I had a great time playing with Kevin, but I think for both of us, it was kind of at the tail end of our careers. We had played in the 2000 Olympics, but Kevin was a rare commodity, the big blocker. I think he was one of those sought-after guys, so I was really fortunate to have him when I did. It was a lot of fun. You want to make a comeback, Kevin?
PRP, you know me.
Nice.
I need some of those PRP and stem cell injections that Rosie had. We might be able to get out there.
Oh, man.
Well, Lucena and Dalhausser get another point. They lead at 19-15. They're looking for their second consecutive win on the AVP Tour this season. Off to a good start. Trying to hang in, Trevor Crabb and Sean Rosenthal on the side change.
You look at how sharp this team is. Phil Dalhausser, Nick Lucena. You get the feeling of the old great teams. Kent Steffes, Karch Garai, Sinjin, Stokey. This is a team that could sweep the table. I would not be surprised on the AVP this season.
Crabb and Rosenthal up against it now. They've got to really go. Dalhausser on 2, and he puts it away. Well, nobody has had the answer to Phil Dalhausser so far in this young AVP season. And a match and championship point is coming up. Well, Big Phil, ready to rock. Rosenthal for the save. He's got it. Rosenthal getting a kick out of that. A slider right by Dalhausser. Now 20-17. second championship point. Ace for Rosenthal.
So much fun to see one of the living legends, SoCal, playing back at his level again.
So now the third set point and championship point. This could be it right here. Nick Lucena for the win. And he puts it away. It is now championship point. The freeze is on, Kevin Wong. It's now serve to score a point. Part of the new rules put in last year by the AVP, as that one is lofted into the corner.
And this is the perfect venue where you can have this kind of comeback, right? Instead of the points going in that first attempt being the end of the match, all of a sudden you've got a team, Dalhausser and Lucena, they've got to earn that last point.
Nice up. And Lucena tapping it down.
Great dig, right? Trevor Crabb pops it up in the air, really difficult set. I'd love to see the net cam on that. It almost looked like Lucena reached over the plane of the net.
You wanted to see Crabb up there jousting on that one. Well, now, championship point for Dalhausser and Lucena. Trying to wrap it up here. Rosenthal tapping. Phil goes and gets it. Lucena on the run. Not yet. That's trouble. Crabb. Left hand. Yes.
Holy smokes. Amazing, right? Double pumps in the air. Decides to use the left on a cutty. There's a small little window that Phil Dalhausser's allowed there, and Trevor Crabb able to squeeze it right through.
Rosenthal and Crabb.
Rosie got an ace on the bad side. Now he goes to the good side. It's a good rotation for them. Oh, he's going skyball.
Down by 3. Lucena tapping.
You know, you make the aggressive serve, you change up the pace, and yet Lucena ready for everything's been so dialed in.
Another championship point. This is number 4 for Dalhausser and Lucena. Rosenthal got it.
Love this, right? A lot of question marks about this format, but I'll tell you what, I love it. The fans love it, and this is a team, Lucena and Crabb, they're dialing it in right now. Wannabes love it too.
Down the line, Rosie's got it. Can he put it away? Phil's on the run. And into the net goes Lucena.
Throughout his career, Sean Rosenthal's been a guy who's been able to tap into the crowd and use it on his side. See if he's got enough magic left over. They're still 2 points down.
You might remember Rosie's Raiders from back in the day. The group that followed Sean Rosenthal around the beaches of SoCal. Now 20-18. The dig is a beauty. Rosenthal again. Rosenthal puts it away. His team within 1.
This is the dig of the year. Blasted at Rosie on the first one, on 2. Big surprise play. Look at Rosie get behind, get Sandy. And then the second one a little bit easier. I'll tell you what, he's tapping into the magic. This is the best we've seen Rosie in 3 years.
Big Phil going with the left there, and Rosenthal tapping it off his old partner's hands out of bounds. So after 4 championship points. Crabb and Rosenthal are 1 point away from tying things up. They got to the freeze in 2017. Have scored 2 since then.
And on the Dalhausser Lucena side, really easy right now to say, oh, this format, we should have won. We should have been already counting our money with our trophy off to the airport. But I'll tell you what, Donaldson, the AVP, really tapping into some of the roots of the game, and I love it right now.
So if you're looking at body language right now,
Right?
you like Crabb and Rosenthal, Dalhausser and Lucena.
I guarantee you Nick Lucena saying, hey, we should have won this already. We would have won this already. Love this. Extra side of big Texas-sized drama.
Lucena and Dalhausser won the first set easily, 21-12 here in the second set. They had 4 championship points, but the crowd has come alive. Rosenthal and Crabb within 1 here, trying to tie it up. Here we go, Crabb the serve. Dalhausser, he's going to put this one into the sand, isn't he? Yes, straight down, and Crabb just missed it.
And this is the Phil Dalhausser we've been asking to see for the last 8 years. He poaches the middle serve. That was going towards Nick Lucena's area, poaches it, demands it, and then asserts himself at the net where he is America's best.
The 5th championship point for Dalhausser and Lucena at 20-19. Tight. Crabb tapping. Phil left. Knuckle. Rosenthal. Nice up. Dalhausser for the win. He's got it! Just as they did back in 2005. Dalhausser and Lucena win here in Austin. The 87th win for Phil Dalhausser. He passes Emmanuel and is now in 5th on the all-time list. The 16th career win for Nick Lucena. Had a couple of anxious moments.
Always been the best at making the big plays in the biggest situations.
Back in the day in 2005, Dalhausser and Lucena were a young team from Florida. And that day, here in Austin, they became the first Florida team, the first team outside of California and Hawaii to win a beach volleyball tournament. They made history. And they come back to Austin 12 years later, and it sips all around. Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena. Anxious moments late. We'll talk to the winners. Stay with us. The Austin Open AVP style will continue. state capital here in Austin, Texas. AVP Austin Open, the second event of the year, won by Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena. They go 2 for 2. Huntington Beach first. And then here in Austin, it's time now to take a look at our Smarty Pants dig of the day. How about Nick Lucena's defense in this one?
Yeah, one of the premier defenders. You think of great international defenders. It's Bruno from Brazil. It's Nick Lucena from the U.S., and there's no one even close. Has a quickness, has a discipline. He stays in the position. He's making great reads. And then the range from the right deep court to the left short court. No one better at covering courts, covering area than Nick Lucena.
Our Smarty Pants dig of the day. Yeah, it's Nick Lucena. So, about time to go down to the sand and welcome in Dane Blanton. Dane.
Congratulations, you guys, winning here in Austin. Something special. We talked about it before the match. You had choices. You could have went and played international this weekend. You chose to stay here and play in the AVP in Austin. 2005, you guys won it. Tell me about how it feels after reuniting, coming back here and getting the victory where the magic happened.
Yeah, once we saw this on the schedule, we're playing Austin 100%. I don't care if it's a 5-star that same weekend we're playing. And I'm glad we're not regretting our decision because we're leaving here with a W.
Tell me about the new rule, this freeze, where you freeze at match point. Those guys almost got themselves right back in it. Do you like the freeze? Is it different? Is it hard to get adjusted when that point freezes?
That's a trick question, Dane. I'm glad we won. If we would have lost that match, I would have said I couldn't stand the rule. But it's different. You know, World hasn't caught up to the rule yet. So, you know, we're trying it out in the AVP, and it's caused for some, you know, exciting more points just like happened in that last game. So I thought it was a benefit for this game for sure.
86 wins coming in. Tied with Emmanuel. Now you're at 87, the 5th all-time winningest player in the history of beach volleyball. Were you aware of that, and how does that feel?
I was aware of it because Kevin Wong told me before the match. It feels pretty good, but Emmanuel is like, man, he's one of the greatest. So, you know, his career was ridiculous. So if I could just half of his career, I'm happy with it. I
have to ask you one last question. In 2005, did you ever expect to be back here 12 years later?
I don't know why we never came back because it was a great tournament, the great crowd, like as you saw here. So I always wondered why we didn't come back, but at least we came back 12 years later.
Yeah, with quite a few victories and a gold medal. Congratulations, you guys, for bringing it home here. Chris?
Deja vu all over again for Nick Lucena and Phil Dalhausser. We're going to have more from the AVP Austin Open. We're going to show you some of the AVP women's final. Whitney Pavlik and April Ross taking on Kim DiCello and Emily Stockman. We'll have more after this. Stay tuned.